If you're thinking about building a new home this fall or winter, you need to know that prices, builder incentives, and even their spec homes of how long they're sitting, that's all shifting right now. And it's exactly why I'm breaking down what to expect when you go to build that new home across Northeast Ohio, so you know whether you should do it now or wait. What's up, guys? Anthony Esposito with eXp Realty, your local expert right here in the Cleveland, Ohio area. And before you even step foot into a model home to take a peek at a specific builder, whether it's custom or chain, I have an excellent guide that will give you a step-by-step what to expect. And it's all based off of the 15 years of construction experience that I have, of things that I've seen and different things for you to be aware of. If you want that, just drop guide in the comments below and I will get that over to you. So first, of course, we got to talk about the prices of these new builds. They have gone up a little bit, and there's specific counties where they're going to cost more. In Lorain County, for instance, new home prices, they have climbed at an incredible rate, especially if you're looking at places like Avon Lake. Those prices have really climbed up. You're looking at about 17% year over year. And it's a dramatic amount. It adds up really fast. Now, there are some places in Lorain that aren't like that, but some of those hot spots, you really need to be aware of that. And then as far as Medina County goes, Medina's up 6% year over year, and they have a wave of new subdivisions that are all over the place right now, especially down in like the southern Medina towards Wadsworth area. That's really booming currently, is like the main focal points. As far as like Cuyahoga County goes, there's really not a lot going on there. The prices are more stable. And then the homes, there's not so much like single family home developments that are popping up. They're more of your townhomes or your condos that have popped up, and you figure the prices, they're about 5 to 8% higher than last year, which that is more stable, believe it or not. And then as far as Summit County goes, that one is like your overall like modest kind of county for the new builds. It's going to be raising a little bit, but not a whole lot, not a substantial amount. And you're looking at about 3 to 5% this year for, your price increases that are on there. But again, builders, they're not slashing these prices. They're going up, and the rising construction cost, the potential impact from the tariffs that have been going on. So materials going up, labor goes up every single year. And it's just something that you have to keep in mind when you go to build that new house. The best part is that there's so much that the builders are giving right now with incentives. So it definitely helps. As far as things of what to expect, because fall and winter, the weather changes, construction completely changes. And a lot of it has to do with weather permitting of what is going to happen. I've been in it. I've worked in it. And I'm telling you, those really cold days, there's really no construction that's happening. But things that you should expect is that usual slowdown. New homes, they typically dial it back, especially when it comes for like December, January, February. Not only do you have the holidays, but you also have the coldest months. So your foundations being poured, if you have like block foundation, that stuff getting installed, and it just slows everything up because you can't really do it in the extreme cold, nor are you going to have someone work in 0-degree weather. The majority of the time, they just take the time off. But the sales centers, they'll see lighter traffic that goes on, and it's just common. It comes with the weather itself. Plus, as a buyer, most people don't want to move during the winters. The big thing is with building, usually you got minimum 6 months. Most builders are going to vary between 6 to 12 months from the time that you sign the contract. So what better timing to try to move in towards, the end of spring, beginning of summer. The caveat to it is you will have to pay for heating when that home is up through the winter, where if you're building in summer, obviously there's no heating involved, but that is going to fall on you as an added expense to end up getting the heating done, so they could also do the drywall, the mudding, like everything that goes involved with building a home. But here's what's different this year is builders are finishing up more spec homes than I've noticed in recent years. They're doing a lot of those, and they're moving them with crazy incentives. Some of them I've seen around like 5% fixed rate for 30 years, which is insane. But you'll see things like free upgrades. You'll see appliance packages, maybe upgrade on appliance packages. You'll see rate buy downs, more money given out. It's just one of those things where if you're serious about a new build, winter could actually be the golden time for you to do so. Now, the nice thing is that as far as like the new builds go, the inventory for that is finally growing. They're catching up. They've caught up basically. And with Medina County, you got listings. They're up, roughly 19%. And that's simply because of more subdivisions that has helped out Medina County. We've been really hurting for inventory there, but homes are still selling fast. We're looking at roughly around 16 days on market. So even if it's a spec home, it can still go relatively quick. Now for Lorain County, they've added a lot of new construction of what has been going on. Avon, North Ridgeville, Columbia Station has taken off with new construction like crazy with multiple builders. But they're rising slightly with some city infill and some of their suburban projects that they're also trying to do. And then, Cuyahoga, don't expect it. That's limited when it comes to new homes. So if you're trying to get in Cuyahoga County, it's going to be more of those townhomes. You're not going to find single family homes. You're really going to have to do some digging and kind of wait to end up seeing some of these bigger builders that are coming through to see if they end up purchasing any property. And then, Summit, it's steady. It's not really like increasing at a rapid pace, but it's also not decreasing. So it really depends on where you want to live. Your best choices is going to be Lorain and Medina County if you're looking for a brand new built home. If you do want to get into Cuyahoga County, or you're looking in Summit County and like one of the developers, they're just not hitting the mark for you, you could always go custom and try to find a piece of property. You're going to be better off in more rural settings to find those properties, but it's still possible to do so, which that is also stuff that I can help you with. Now, let's be honest, rates are absolutely the biggest hurdle right now, whether it's a new build or not. It's by far the biggest hurdle, because conventional loans are sitting around like 6.5 right now. Typically construction loans, they are going to be a little bit higher. However, the builder incentives that they are giving right now are crazy. There's a lot of rate buy downs going on. There's a lot of 1% below the market value that's going on. They're doing everything they can to help people out. Spec homes especially. I know you don't get to pick exactly what you want, but those spec homes, they typically have like a 2% lower interest rate attached to it. As long as you qualify for everything, there's always fine print on this stuff, and it's things that I cover in my builder incentives that I drop at the beginning of every single month, because it can change. Every month they roll out new incentives. But those rates are what's really killing it. And I'm seeing more and more of my clients and people I talk to where if they're giving, say, $30,000 in potential upgrades and closing costs and all that fun stuff, a lot of people are actually opting to buy down that rate just because it eases the pain a little bit of what's going on. And then you have some builders like Schumacher, for instance, where they're allowing you to refinance at absolutely no cost within the first 5 years of taking over your actual mortgage on your house, which is tremendous because chances are more than likely the rates are going to be quite low. The thing that you got to keep in mind though is last month when I looked at that, for instance, for Schumacher, they had a 4.99% interest rate. So is it really going to be below that within 5 years? Hard to say. I would hope so, but it is hard to say. But that at those rates, I know they're scary. I know it hurts, but do not stop from looking into a brand new build because the incentives can end up correcting that whole situation, and you may end up being able to afford way more than what you actually think. Now, I will say one thing that I am noticing and that I absolutely love is compared to years past, buyers right now on new homes are being more cautious. And I absolutely love that because it's a huge expense. And a lot of people were just like, I'm tired of not getting a house, I'm just building. And then they're going and just getting it done. But you know, the only thing is that first time home buyers, they're kind of getting squeezed. It's really tough for them right now. The chances of you being able to build if you're not fully established and you don't have the funds are slim to none because the pricing has gotten out of control by quite a bit. As far as like boomers, they are very strong in the market. A lot of them are downsizing right now, going to ranches. And ranches are a hot spot for builders right now, even outside of boomers. And then millennials like myself, Gen Z, you know, we're picky. Like I find myself being picky about a lot of different situations when it comes to my current home and then even my planning for building a home myself. And it's just one of those things where you have to do your homework no matter what you do. There's so much that's involved. And it's one of those things where, you know, I like to at least give some clarity and help you out with that whole situation. So if that is something that you are interested in, again, just drop guide in the comments down below. I will get that builder's guide to you, no problem, because I want to have you being able to get that full clarity on the building process because it's very overwhelming if you don't know step by step of what to expect. It is a lengthy process and it can get pretty stressful. Let me know though if the video helped you out at all. And if you are considering to build or you're looking to buy or sell, I got people just like you reaching out to me every single week. You can contact me directly here. I will be happy to help you out as well. And if you haven't already or you're new to my channel, be sure to click subscribe and turn notifications on so you can stay up to date on my future videos that I got coming your way.